Hello everyone at home. Thank you for following me. Jamie and I are now going to answer the questions that you sent in regarding the Mongol Rally. So uh, here we go.
Tim, I think the first question everyone's going to ask is, what's with that hair?
I saw the Mongol Rally as a very good opportunity to change my hair color because I wanted to see what it would look like.
Okay.
And this is the result.
That's the result of 10 weeks into your diet.
Yeah, as you can see, it's a bit grown out on the side now.
Yeah. Starting off with some questions from Michelle. Where's the best place you camped and the worst?
The best place we camped, I would say, was probably the first night on the Afghanistan border on the Pamir Highway. We were about 2,000 meters up, and we were camping with another Mongol Rally team that had the same car as us, and they were just lovely people. But the stars really came out that night, and it was just stunning. It really was. So that was probably the best night.
Cool. And the worst?
The worst was probably just before Turkey, and we had been driving all day and I was very sweaty. So I decided to take a water bottle shower, which is showering yourself with a water bottle. It's the closest you can get to cleaning yourself or washing yourself. But I stupidly got out of the car in a mosquito-infested field, and yeah, it was a rough day after that. I struggled to get to sleep, and it was very hot, and I was covered in mosquito bites.
Yeah, there are some pictures of Tim's back from that event somewhere.
Yeah, not
for those
not nice.
who want to see. What was your longest day?
The longest day was probably the final stretch between Ulaanbaatar and Ulan-Ude, and we drove for at least.
Just to Ulaanbaatar and Ulaanbaatar, and which countries?
That is from Mongolia, exiting into Russia. That was the final official day, and then the long stretch from the Russian-Mongolian border to Ulan-Ude to our. We booked a hotel that night, so we needed to get there, but we got there at about 1 a.m, and I was exhausted, so that was rough.
Did you ever get to a place where no one could understand you?
Pretty much all throughout. Pretty much after Turkey, it was very, very difficult to communicate. You'd have to use a lot of animated hand signals, and almost everyone we encountered couldn't understand us, which was quite hard. So.
But were they willing to help you?
Yeah. No. As long as there's money in your pocket, they're willing to help you, especially if they're selling something. But yeah, it was difficult to communicate.
Yeah. Which brings us on to, did you come across any random acts of kindness from strangers along the way?
Yes, quite a few times. When was it? We were camping. It was the start of the Pamir Highway, and it was before we had reached the Afghanistan border, and we were so used to people coming up to us trying to sell us things that we'd forgotten that kindness was a thing. And we had pitched our tents next to a river, and a very old gentleman came up to us and offered us a bag full of washed apples, and we thought he was trying to sell them to us, but he was just being very kind, and we accepted them. And they were really nice apples, and he'd washed them for us, so that was really nice. Another time was she was Italian, and we'd stopped to help a fellow that had broken down, and she also stopped, and we didn't have any food in the car, and we were about 50 kilometers from the nearest town, and I told her that we didn't have any food, and she was very quick to run to her car and provide us with some of the food that she had in her car. So that was also very nice.
Really lovely, really lovely. What was your scariest moment?
This is going to sound boring because again it was probably the Pamir Highway. Not sure if any of you went on and looked at the roads, but some of the roads were cliffs on your left side and a complete drop on the other side going into the river. And my friend Charlie Knight was driving at the time, and he was obviously everywhere we drove was on the right hand side of the road, and sometimes he only left, I'm not exaggerating, a couple inches from the edge of the road, and there are no bollards, it is just cliff on either side, and at that point I was very scared.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't know about that at the time.
Yeah.
What did you miss the most when you were away?
A shower.
Yeah.
That's always appreciate your shower.
And running water, I suppose.
And clean water. Clean water. Absolutely. Shower.
Where was the most beautiful place?
Where was the most beautiful? It was probably in the Wakhan Valley, which is on the Pamir Highway. Oh god, I should probably talk about more the other stuff.
No, but be honest.
Yeah, but genuinely being honest, because the Wakhan Valley is part of the Pamir Highway, and that's when you're about the highest pass is 4,600 meters. So when you're that high up, you have snow-capped mountains on either side of you, and everything's dead silent as well. It's another thing you wouldn't think about, but it's very surreal. But we had bright blue sky and snow-capped mountains, and it was just stunning. It really was. So that was probably the most beautiful.
Yeah. Some questions from Neil. Where was your best meal?
My best meal, we went to a restaurant in Baku, and we hadn't eaten anything very tasty in a long time, and I ordered some. It was like it's like stewed beef with red peppers and vegetables, and when I had that, it was divine. It was one of the best meals I'd had in the whole rally.
Lovely. And what was the launch party like?
The launch party was a place called what was it, Junkville, something like that.
Junktown?
Yeah, Junktown. That was in the Czech Republic, or Czechia.
Prague.
Just outside of Prague, and it was bizarre, very bizarre. People were dressed up. I'm not sure if you've seen the film. What's the film with? Mad Max.
Yeah.
Have you seen the film Mad Max? Then, kind of post-apocalyptic. Very strange. People were dressed up in had spiked shoulder pads and weird goggles on, but thoroughly enjoyed it. And there were lots of parties afterwards and information given by the first ever Mongol Rallyer. He was there. So the Mongol Rally was set up by the first person that ever did it in about 2001, and I think he was a bit of an entrepreneur because he saw a business opportunity, and and he was there, so it was quite cool to see the first ever Mongol Rally. But then, lots of
Cool.
partying afterwards.
Yeah. Do you think you'll keep in touch with anyone you met?
Yeah, I hope so. The team that we camped with, when I described the most beautiful place we camped, it was the best place we camped. That team, there was a fella from Bristol, and another girl from Bristol who had a Kiwi boyfriend, and they were just lovely people, and I sent them a friend request on Facebook. So probably keep in contact with them.
Lovely. Yeah. From Ray, what was your most interesting or surprising find?
Is it just on the floor?
No.
Find
Well, place
place.
or culture.
Should have thought about that one before.
We'll move on. Will you ever do the rally again?
No, but I would highly recommend it to anyone. Just be careful who you do it with, is what I would say. I won't be doing the Mongol Rally again, but I know there were people that did it for the third time actually this year, and if you do the Mongol Rally again, you can expect to have different outcomes, so that's why people do it.
Right. And to sum it all off, what's next for you?
What's next for me? I am, at the time of recording this, 2 days away from going back to uni. So I will be going back to Swansea, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going into first year this year, and that's probably it. I'm just preparing to go back to uni.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you for all your questions. I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you all soon.